At dawn, when the mist of the Yamuna River rises like a silken veil, the Taj Mahal appears less a monument and more a vision suspended between earth and sky. Its white marble glows softly, absorbing the colors of the morning rose, gold, and pearl, changing its mood with every passing hour. Travelers have long struggled to describe it with words, for the Taj Mahal is not merely a building. It is a feeling, a memory carved into stone, and a story that has crossed centuries. The Taj Mahal stands in Agra not only as India's most celebrated monument, but also as one of humanity's greatest artistic achievements. Behind its perfect symmetry lies a tale of empire and devotion, ambition and loss, craftsmanship and faith. It is the story of a Mughal emperor at the height of his power, a beloved queen whose death shattered him, and thousands of artisans whose hands turned grief into immortality. This is not simply the story of how the Taj Mahal was built. It is the story of the world that gave birth to it, the Mughal Empire at its zenith, the cultural currents flowing from Persia, Central Asia, and India, and the human emotions that transformed imperial authority into timeless beauty. To understand the Taj Mahal is to walk through history itself, step by step, breath by breath. Long before the Taj Mahal rose along the banks of the Yamuna, northern India was shaped by conquest, trade, and the meeting of civilizations. In 1526, Babur, a descendant of Timur and Genghis Khan, crossed the Indus and defeated the Delhi Sultanate at the Battle of Panipat. With that victory, he laid the foundation of the Mughal Empire. Babur's empire was modest and fragile, but his descendants transformed it into one of the most powerful states of the early modern world. His grandson Akbar, the Great, expanded Mughal rule across most of the Indian subcontinent. Akbar did more than conquer. He governed with vision. He embraced religious tolerance, welcomed scholars of many faiths, and blended Persian court culture with Indian traditions. By the time Akbar's son, Jahangir, inherited the throne in 1605, the Mughal Empire had become wealthy, sophisticated, and artistically vibrant. Painting, poetry, architecture, and garden design flourished under imperial patronage. The Mughal court was a place where Persian elegance met Indian richness, creating a new cultural language expressed in stone, color, and form. It was into this world of refinement and power that Prince Khurram was born. Prince Khurram, later known as Shah Jahan, was born in 1592 to Emperor Jahangir and his Rajput wife, Jagat Gosani. From childhood, he was groomed for greatness. He received an education befitting a Mughal prince: military training, poetry, calligraphy, theology, and statecraft. He learned how to command armies and how to appreciate beauty, how to rule men and how to judge art. Khurram proved himself early as a capable military commander. He led campaigns in the Deccan and against rebellious regions, earning his father's trust and admiration. At court, he was known not only for bravery, but also for refinement. He had an architect's eye and a poet's soul. He understood symmetry, proportion, and symbolism, qualities that would later define his architectural legacy. Yet amid politics and warfare, fate prepared a meeting that would change his life forever. In 1607, at a royal bazaar organized during the festival of Meena Bazaar, Prince Khurram encountered a young woman named Arjumand Banu Begum. She was the daughter of a Persian noble family closely connected to the Mughal court. Intelligent, graceful, and strong-willed, Arjumand captured the prince's heart instantly. Though royal marriages were often political, this meeting was different. Contemporary chroniclers describe a love marked by deep affection and companionship. Khurram was 17. Arjumand was 14. Their engagement followed soon after, but court politics delayed their marriage for 5 years. When they finally married in 1612, Arjumand received the title Mumtaz Mahal, the chosen one of the palace. She would live up to that name in every sense. Mumtaz Mahal was not merely a consort hidden behind palace walls. She became Khurram's closest confidant. She accompanied him on military campaigns, advised him on court matters, and shared his burdens as well as his joys. Unlike many royal marriages, theirs was marked by mutual respect and emotional intimacy. Mumtaz gave birth to 14 children, a testament to both devotion and sacrifice. Despite the physical toll, she remained active in court life, known for her charity and compassion. She interceded on behalf of the poor, supported widows, and used her influence to promote justice. In a world defined by power struggles and intrigue, Mumtaz was Shah Jahan's emotional anchor. When Khurram ascended the throne in 1628, after a bloody struggle for succession, Mumtaz stood beside him as Empress of Hindustan. As emperor, Shah Jahan ushered in what historians often call the golden age of Mughal architecture. He believed that imperial authority should be expressed through beauty, order, and harmony. Under his patronage, forts, mosques, gardens, and palaces rose across the empire. The Red Fort of Delhi, the Jama Masjid, and numerous gardens bore witness to his aesthetic philosophy. Architecture, for Shah Jahan, was a language of power, a way to express divine order on earth. Every line, every curve, every reflection carried meaning. Yet even as he built monuments of authority, destiny was preparing a tragedy that would transform his architectural ambition into something far more personal. In 1631, Shah Jahan set out on a military campaign to suppress rebellion in the Deccan region. Mumtaz Mahal, pregnant with their 14th child, accompanied him as she always did. The imperial camp moved slowly, carrying the weight of empire across long distances. In the city of Burhanpur, tragedy struck. After a difficult childbirth, Mumtaz Mahal died. She was 38 years old. The emperor was devastated. Chroniclers write that Shah Jahan withdrew from public life for days. His hair turned gray within weeks. Music was forbidden at court. He emerged from mourning a changed man, carrying a grief that words could not contain. On her deathbed, Mumtaz is said to have asked him for 2 promises: that he would never remarry, and that he would build her a monument unlike any the world had seen. Shah Jahan kept both promises. Mumtaz Mahal was first buried temporarily in Burhanpur, but Shah Jahan soon decided that her final resting place must be worthy of her memory. He chose Agra, the imperial capital, and a city deeply connected to their life together. Along the banks of the Yamuna River, he envisioned a tomb that would embody eternal love, divine beauty, and imperial grandeur. This vision would become the Taj Mahal, but to transform grief into marble, Shah Jahan would need more than wealth and power. He would need the finest minds, the most skilled hands, and years of unwavering dedication. That thus begins the next chapter, the making of immortality itself. After the first storm of grief passed, Shah Jahan turned his sorrow into resolve. He ordered Mumtaz Mahal's remains to be brought with honor from Burhanpur to Agra, a journey accompanied by prayers, silence, and imperial reverence. The emperor personally selected the site for her eternal rest, a stretch of land beside the Yamuna River, where the water curved gently like an arm embracing the shore. The location was not chosen by chance. In Mughal symbolism, rivers represented life, paradise, and the eternal flow of time. The Yamuna reflected the sky by day and the stars by night, creating a natural mirror that would double the beauty of the monument. Shah Jahan envisioned a tomb that would appear to float between heaven and earth. Suspended in reflection, the land itself belonged to Raja Jai Singh of Amber, who exchanged it with the emperor for a palace elsewhere. Once acquired, the ground was surveyed, leveled, and prepared to bear a structure unlike any previously attempted in the subcontinent. From the beginning, the Taj Mahal was conceived not merely as a tomb, but as a symbolic vision of paradise. Islamic tradition describes Jannah as a garden beneath which rivers flow, a place of perfect balance and peace. Shah Jahan resolved that Mumtaz, Mahal's resting place, would mirror this divine ideal on earth. The emperor did not leave the design to chance. He held long consultations with scholars, theologians, architects, and artists. Every element was to carry meaning. Symmetry would reflect divine order. White marble would symbolize purity and eternity. Light would be used as an architectural material, transforming the structure with each hour. Unlike earlier Mughal tombs, which often stood at the center of a garden, Shah Jahan approved a radical plan. The mausoleum would rise at the northern edge of the complex, directly beside the river. This decision allowed the Taj Mahal to appear infinite, extending visually beyond its physical boundaries into the flowing water and open sky. To realize his vision, Shah Jahan summoned the finest craftsmen of the known world. Artisans arrived from Persia, Central Asia, the Ottoman lands, and across India. Stonecutters, calligraphers, inlay specialists, dome builders, and engineers gathered in Agra, forming one of the greatest creative assemblies in history. At the head of this effort stood Ustad Ahmad Lahori, widely regarded as the chief architect. Trained in the Persian tradition, Lahori possessed a deep understanding of geometry, proportion, and symbolism. Under him worked a hierarchy of masters, each responsible for a different aspect of the design. Amanat Khan Shirazi, a renowned calligrapher from Iran, was entrusted with the Quranic inscriptions. Ismail Effendi, believed to be from the Ottoman Empire, contributed to the design of the Great Dome. Indian craftsmen brought generations of experience in stone carving and decorative arts. Blending seamlessly with foreign influences, the Taj Mahal would become a true global creation, shaped by many cultures, yet unified by a single vision. Before a single wall could rise, the engineers faced a monumental challenge. The soil near the Yamana was soft and unstable. To support the immense weight of the marble structure, a revolutionary foundation was required. Workers dug deep wells into the earth, filling them with stone and rubble to create a stable base. Over this, a massive platform was constructed, distributing the weight evenly. Brick scaffolding, rather than wood, was erected around the site, a structure so vast that legends later claimed it took years to dismantle. Materials were sourced from across the empire. White marble traveled from the quarries of Makrana in Rajasthan. Red sandstone came from Fatehpur Sikri. Jade, crystal, lapis lazuli, turquoise, and sapphire arrived by caravan from distant lands. Elephants hauled massive stone blocks, while boats carried materials along the river. The logistical scale of the project was staggering. Contemporary accounts suggest that more than 20,000 workers labored on the site over 2 decades, transforming raw materials into refined perfection. As construction progressed, the defining feature of the Taj Mahal became increasingly clear: perfect symmetry. The main mausoleum was designed so that every element on one side had an exact counterpart on the other. Minarets, arches, windows, and even decorative motifs followed this principle. Yet symmetry was not rigid or lifeless. Subtle variations in depth, light, and reflection gave the structure warmth and grace. The 4 minarets were built with a slight outward tilt, a precaution to ensure that in the event of collapse, they would fall away from the central tomb. At the heart of the building lay the octagonal burial chamber. Here, Mumtaz Mahal's cenotaph was placed at the center, adorned with intricate inlay and calligraphy. Shah Jahan's own cenotaph would later rest beside hers, the only deliberate break in symmetry, an architectural confession of love. Overpowering perfection. South of the mausoleum stretched the Sharbig Garden, divided into 4 quadrants by water channels. This layout followed ancient Persian garden design, symbolizing the 4 rivers of paradise. Cypress trees lined the paths, representing death, while fruit trees symbolized life, a poetic balance between mortality and eternity. Water flowed quietly through marble channels, reflecting the sky and the monument above. Fountains rose in perfect alignment, creating a sense of movement without chaos. Visitors approaching the Taj Mahal would see it framed by the garden gateway, gradually revealing itself as they walked forward, step by measured step. For Shah Jahan, the garden was not decoration. It was theology made visible, a promise that Mumtaz Mahal rested in eternal peace. Throughout the years of construction, Shah Jahan followed every detail closely. From his palace in Agra Fort, he could see the Taj Mahal rising across the river. Chroniclers describe him standing at dawn and dusk, observing the changing colors of the marble, ensuring that the monument matched his vision. Though he ruled a vast empire, his heart remained bound to the silent city of marble growing beside the Yamuna. Each stone laid was an act of remembrance. Each inscription was a prayer dot by the late 1640s. The structure neared completion. The dome crowned the sky. The minarets stood like guardians. The garden bloomed in ordered harmony. Yet the story of the Taj Mahal was far from over. Its completion would mark not an end, but the beginning of a new chapter, one of glory, decline, and endurance beyond empire. By the early 1650s, the Taj Mahal stood nearly complete, its white marble surfaces polished until they shimmered like frozen moonlight. What remained were the details, the delicate elements that would transform a grand structure into a living poem of stone. For Shah Jahan, these details mattered as much as the towering dome or the perfectly aligned minarets. They were the soul of the monument. Artisans worked patiently on Petra Dura inlay, embedding semi-precious stones into marble with astonishing precision. Carnelian-formed petals, jade-traced vines, lapis lazuli deepened floral shadows, and mother-of-pearl caught the light like morning dew. Each piece was cut by hand, placed carefully, and polished until the surface felt seamless to the touch. The work required extraordinary discipline. A single mistake could ruin weeks of labor. Yet the craftsmen labored with devotion, aware that their names might never be recorded, but their work would endure long after kingdoms faded. Calligraphy adorned the Taj Mahal like whispered prayer. Amanat Khan Shirazi oversaw the inscriptions, selecting verses from the Quran that spoke of mercy, paradise, judgment, and eternal peace. These words were not chosen randomly. They guided the visitors spiritually, preparing the heart before entering the sacred space. The letters grew subtly larger as they rose higher on the walls, an optical correction that made the inscriptions appear uniform from the ground. Black marble inlay stood in elegant contrast against the white stone, drawing the eye upward toward the heavens. Above the great southern gateway, verses invited the faithful to enter paradise. As one passed through the arch and glimpsed the mausoleum beyond, architecture and scripture merged into a single experience, faith made visible. When the Taj Mahal was finally completed around 1653, a quiet solemnity marked its consecration. Unlike palaces built for celebration or forts raised for conquest, this monument belonged to silence. There were prayers, offerings, and recitations of the Quran. The air carried incense and remembrance rather than music. Mumtaz Mahal's remains were placed beneath the cenotaph in the crypt below, aligned precisely toward Mecca. Shah Jahan stood in contemplation, surrounded by courtiers who dared not speak. The emperor had fulfilled his promise, yet no monument could return what he had lost. From that day onward, the Taj Mahal became both a royal tomb and a spiritual landmark. Pilgrims, poets, and travelers arrived to witness its beauty. Many left convinced that no human hand alone could have shaped such harmony. The completion of the Taj Mahal coincided with the height of Shah Jahan's reign. The Mughal Empire stretched across much of the Indian subcontinent, enriched by trade, agriculture, and administrative stability. Delhi and Agra glittered as centers of culture and power. Foreign envoys from Persia, Europe, and Central Asia marveled at the wealth of the court. They described jeweled thrones, silk-draped halls, and cities alive with art and learning. Yet among all imperial achievements, the Taj Mahal stood apart. It was not a symbol of conquest, but of memory. Shah Jahan himself grew increasingly reflective with age. Though still a commanding ruler, he spent more time contemplating architecture, gardens, and spiritual matters. The Taj Mahal remained his most personal creation, a constant reminder of love beyond authority. Even as marble gleamed beside the Yamuna, darker currents moved beneath the surface of empire. Shah Jahan's sons, Dara Shikoh, Shah Shuja, Aurangzeb, and Murad, each harbored ambitions for the throne. The question of succession loomed dangerously. Dara Shikoh, the eldest and Shah Jahan's favored heir, was a scholar and mystic, deeply influenced by Sufism and Hindu philosophy. Aurangzeb, by contrast, was austere, disciplined, and fiercely orthodox. Their differences were not merely personal, but ideological. As Shah Jahan fell ill in 1657, whispers of weakness spread through the court. Armies began to move. Alliances shifted. The empire that had produced the Taj Mahal now faced the violence of its own ambition. The War of Succession ended in blood. Aurangzeb emerged victorious, defeating his brothers and declaring himself emperor. Dara Shikoh was executed. Murad and Shuja were eliminated. The cost of power was devastating. Aurangzeb deposed his father and confined him to Agra fort. From a marble pavilion, Shah Jahan spent the final years of his life under gentle imprisonment. He was treated with respect, yet stripped of authority. From his window, he could see the Taj Mahal across the river. Each morning and evening. The monument reflected changing light white at dawn, golden at sunset, silver under moonlight. It stood as a silent companion, a reminder of love untouched by political cruelty. Shah Jahan's daughter, Jahanara Begum, remained with him, sharing his solitude and devotion. In 1666, Shah Jahan died at the age of 74. His passing was quiet, marked by prayer rather than ceremony. Aurangzeb allowed his father to be buried beside Mumtaz Mahal, honoring at least that final wish. When Shah Jahan's cenotaph was placed next to Mumtaz's, symmetry was broken forever. The imbalance spoke more truth than perfection ever could. Love, after all, does not follow rules. Below, in the crypt, the emperor and his queen rested together, reunited beneath the dome that had defined their story. With Shah Jahan's death, the Taj Mahal passed fully into history. Aurangzeb's reign would shift imperial priorities toward austerity and expansion, leaving less room for architectural extravagance. The Mughal Empire would endure for another century, but its golden age had faded. Yet the Taj Mahal remained unchanged, untouched by ideology or ambition. It belonged now to time itself. Travelers from distant lands continued to arrive, carrying stories of the marble tomb that seemed to breathe. Poets wrote of it as a frozen tear. Artists tried and failed to capture its essence. The monument stood patient, waiting for the centuries yet to come. After Shah Jahan's death, the Mughal Empire entered a new and more restrained phase under Aurangzeb. The priorities of the court shifted away from monumental art toward military expansion and strict governance. While the Taj Mahal was respected as a royal tomb, it no longer received the intimate attention it had known under its creator. Funds for maintenance dwindled. The once immaculate gardens grew less precise, their channels silting slowly, their symmetry softened by neglect. Yet the monument itself endured. Its marble walls remained luminous, guarded by the very precision that had shaped them. Aurangzeb, despite his reputation for severity, did not desecrate the Taj Mahal. He understood its significance as an imperial mausoleum and allowed caretakers to continue basic upkeep. Still, the spirit of the place changed. The Taj Mahal shifted from a living symbol of royal devotion to a silent relic of a gentler age. As Mughal power weakened in the 18th century, Agra lost its position as the heart of empire. Delhi rose and fell. Regional powers asserted independence. Armies marched and retreated across northern India. Through all of it, the Taj Mahal stood unchanged, watching history pass like shadows across its marble face. Travelers from Persia, Central Asia, and Europe began to record their impressions. They wrote of a tomb so perfect it seemed unreal, a structure that glowed beneath moonlight and appeared almost weightless. Some struggled to believe it was the work of human hands. Poets compared it to a pearl on the river's brow, to a tear frozen in stone. For many, the story of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal became inseparable from the building itself. Fact and legend intertwined, strengthening the Taj's hold on the imagination. By the early 19th century, the Mughal Empire had been reduced to a shadow of its former self. Real power now lay with the British East India Company. Agra passed into British control, and with it, the Taj Mahal entered a new and uncertain chapter. Some British officers admired the monument deeply, studying its proportions and sketching its details. Others saw it as a convenient pleasure ground. Portions of the gardens were altered to suit English tastes, replacing Mughal design with straight lawns and flower beds. Worse still, the Taj Mahal became vulnerable to plunder. Precious stones were pried from inlay work. Silver doors and decorative elements disappeared. The monument that had once symbolized eternal love now faced the indifference of colonial rule. One persistent legend claims that British officials once considered dismantling the Taj Mahal and selling its marble. Whether fully true or exaggerated, the story reflects the real danger the monument faced during this period. Its survival owed much to a growing appreciation for historical preservation. Scholars, artists, and administrators began to recognize the Taj Mahal not merely as a relic of Mughal rule, but as a treasure of global significance. This shift in attitude would soon prove critical. At the turn of the 20th century, Lord Curzon, the Viceroy of India, undertook a major restoration of the Taj Mahal. Though a product of empire himself, Curzon possessed a genuine reverence for history and art. Under his supervision, damaged sections were repaired, gardens were redesigned closer to their original Mughal form, and protective measures were introduced. In 1908, Curzon presided over a formal restoration ceremony, declaring that such monuments were a trust held for all humanity, while colonial rule remained deeply unjust. These efforts helped preserve the Taj Mahal for future generations. The 20th century brought unprecedented change. 2 world wars reshaped global politics. India's struggle for independence gathered strength. Through protests, upheavals, and sacrifices, the subcontinent moved toward freedom. During times of war, the Taj Mahal was carefully shielded. Scaffolding concealed its dome during World War II and later conflicts, protecting it from potential air attacks. Even in moments of fear, the monument was guarded as a symbol beyond politics. When India gained independence in 1947, the Taj Mahal entered a new identity, not as a Mughal relic or colonial curiosity, but as a national symbol. It belonged now to the people of India, and in a broader sense, to the world. In 1983, UNESCO declared the Taj Mahal a World Heritage Site, recognizing it as a masterpiece of human creative genius. By then, millions of visitors from every corner of the globe had already walked its pathways, stood beneath its dome, and carried its image home in memory. Yet fame brought new challenges. Pollution from nearby industries threatened to stain the marble. Rising crowds placed pressure on the fragile structure. Conservationists and authorities faced the delicate task of protecting a monument that the entire world wished to see. Strict regulations were introduced. Industrial zones were restricted. Vehicle traffic was limited. Restoration techniques evolved, blending modern science with traditional care. Despite the pressures of modernity, the Taj Mahal continues to endure. It changes color with the sky, absorbs silence at dawn, and glows softly beneath moonlight. Each visitor brings a new interpretation, a new emotion, yet the monument remains unchanged at its core. The empire that built it has vanished. The emperor who dreamed it lies silent beneath it. Yet the Taj Mahal lives on, untouched by the passing of dynasties. It is no longer only Shah Jahan's tribute to Mumtaz Mahal. It is humanity's reminder that even in grief, beauty can rise, and even in loss, something eternal can be created. As centuries passed, the Taj Mahal drifted beyond the firm boundaries of recorded history and entered the realm of legend. Facts blended with imagination, and stories grew richer with every retelling. For many, the monument became more than a tomb. It became a symbol capable of carrying whatever meaning the human heart wished to place upon it. Travelers returned home with exaggerated tales. Poets embroidered the truth with metaphor. Even historians, faced with the overwhelming beauty of the structure, sometimes surrendered to romance. Thus, alongside documented history, a parallel world of myths arose, some tender, some dark, all revealing humanity's need to explain wonder. One of the most enduring legends speaks of a second Taj Mahal, a twin built of black marble. According to this tale, Shah Jahan intended to construct an identical mausoleum across the Yamuna River, where he himself would be buried. The two monuments, white and black, were said to be connected by a bridge of marble, symbolizing the union of life and death. The story captivated imaginations, especially after 18th-century European traveler Jean-Baptiste Tavernier recorded rumors of such a plan. Later archaeological findings across the river at Mehtad Bagh revealed darkened stones, fueling speculation. Modern scholarship, however, suggests a different truth. The so-called black marble was likely white marble stained by time and river silt. The symmetry across the river probably served as a reflecting garden rather than a second tomb. Yet the legend endures because it speaks to a deeper emotional truth. People wish to believe that Shah Jahan's love demanded not one monument, but two balanced like his life before and after loss. Another haunting myth claims that Shah Jahan ordered the hands of the craftsmen cut off after the Taj Mahal's completion, ensuring that no one could ever replicate its beauty. The story is dramatic, cruel, and unforgettable. There is no historical evidence to support it. Mughal records show that artisans continued to work on other imperial projects. Skilled craftsmen were valued assets, not disposable tools. Still, the myth persists, perhaps because it reflects a belief that perfection must come at a terrible cost. In truth, the Taj Mahal's uniqueness lies not in cruelty, but in collaboration, thousands of hands working together, guided by vision rather than fear. Over time, the Taj Mahal came to represent love itself. Writers called it a love letter written in stone, a monument to devotion that transcended death. Couples traveled great distances to stand beneath its dome, believing that to witness the Taj together strengthened their bond. This interpretation, though romanticized, carries genuine historical roots. Unlike many royal tombs built for dynasty or display, the Taj Mahal emerged from personal grief. Shah Jahan did not build it to glorify himself, but to honor Mumtaz Mahal. In an age often defined by conquest and ambition, this act of remembrance resonated deeply. The Taj Mahal offered proof that even the most powerful ruler could be humbled by love. Artists across generations have attempted to capture the Taj Mahal's essence. Painters sketched its silhouette at sunrise. Photographers chased the perfect reflection at dusk. Poets struggled to translate marble into metaphor. Rabindranath Tagore famously described the Taj Mahal as a tear on the cheek of time. The phrase endured because it expressed both fragility and permanence. A tear suggests sorrow, yet the Taj Mahal has resisted centuries of erosion. European writers of the Romantic era saw the monument as exotic and mysterious, while Indian writers embraced it as a cultural inheritance. Each perspective added another layer to its identity. With the arrival of cinema, the Taj Mahal found a new audience. Films used it as a backdrop for romance, tragedy, and longing. Its image spread across the world, becoming instantly recognizable even to those who knew little of its history. This widespread exposure strengthened the Taj Mahal's status as a global icon. At the same time, it risked reducing the monument to a visual cliché. The challenge for modern storytellers became how to honor its depth without flattening its meaning. Psychologists and philosophers have observed that people project their own emotions onto the Taj Mahal. Those in love see devotion. Those grieving see memory. Those seeking beauty find harmony. This ability to absorb interpretation may be the monument's greatest power. Built from a specific moment of loss, it has become a mirror for countless human experiences. The Taj Mahal does not tell visitors what to feel. It waits, silent and luminous, allowing each heart to speak. While historians continue to refine our understanding of how the Taj Mahal was built, myths remain an essential part of its legacy. They do not weaken the monument's significance. Instead, they reveal how deeply it has entered human consciousness. The Taj Mahal exists in two worlds at once. In one, it is an object of study, measured in dimensions, materials, and dates. In the other, it is a living story, shaped by emotion and imagination. Both worlds are real, and together they ensure that the Taj Mahal will never be reduced to stone alone. To stand before the Taj Mahal is to confront a paradox. The monument feels effortless, almost natural, yet every inch of it is governed by precise calculation. Beauty here is not accidental. It is engineered. Mughal architects believed that harmony reflected divine order. Geometry was not merely a tool. It was a philosophy. The Taj Mahal was designed using a strict proportional system, where the height of the dome, the width of the facade, and the placement of arches followed mathematical ratios that created visual balance. The central dome rises to nearly the same height as the building itself, creating a perfect vertical equilibrium. The base, the drum, and the dome ascend in measured stages, guiding the eye upward without strain. Nothing overwhelms. Nothing recedes. One of the Taj Mahal's greatest achievements lies in its mastery of optical illusion. Architects understood that human perception is imperfect, and they designed accordingly. The minarets appear perfectly vertical, yet they are intentionally tilted outward by a small degree. This subtle adjustment ensures that they seem straight when viewed from the ground and would fall away from the mausoleum in the event of collapse. Similarly, the great gateway framing the Taj Mahal manipulates scale. As visitors walk toward the monument, it appears to grow larger rather than smaller, defying normal perspective. This effect deepens the sense of awe and anticipation. Light is the Taj Mahal's most elusive material. White marble was chosen not only for its purity, but for its responsiveness to changing light. At sunrise, the monument blushes pink. At midday, it turns radiant white. At sunset, it glows amber. Under moonlight, it becomes almost translucent. This transformation is not incidental. The marble from Makrana contains crystalline qualities that absorb and reflect light gently. Architects oriented the building to maximize this effect, ensuring that the Taj Mahal remained alive to the sky above it. In this way, time itself becomes part of the design. The monument never appears the same twice. Islamic architecture often relies on geometry to express the infinite nature of the divine. Circles, squares, and octagons recur throughout the Taj Mahal, each carrying symbolic weight. The square represents the earthly realm. The circle represents heaven. The octagon serves as a bridge between the two. The central chamber, octagonal in shape, embodies this transition. Mumtaz Mahal, resting at the threshold between earth and eternity. Repetition of floral motifs further reinforces the idea of paradise. Unlike realistic flowers, these designs are idealized, symmetrical, and eternal flowers that never wilt. At the Taj Mahal, words are structural elements. Quranic verses do not merely decorate surfaces. They define space. The inscriptions increase in size as they rise, correcting perspective so that all letters appear uniform from below. This required extraordinary planning, as each stone had to be cut specifically for its place. The chosen verses emphasize mercy, resurrection, and divine judgment. Visitors unknowingly participate in a spiritual journey, moving from the worldly gate toward a reminder of eternity. The Taj Mahal is a map of the Mughal world rendered in stone. Marble from Rajasthan, jasper from Punjab, jade from China, turquoise from Tibet, lapis lazuli from Afghanistan. Each material carried not only beauty, but political meaning. Their presence proclaimed the reach of the empire. At the same time, their careful integration symbolized unity across diversity. Inlay work required artisans to carve marble with microscopic precision. Stones were shaped, fitted, and polished until joints vanished. Even today, the seams are nearly invisible. Beyond beauty, the Taj Mahal was designed to endure. Its foundation wells adapt to changes in groundwater levels. The platform distributes weight evenly. The outward-leaning minarets protect the central dome. Even seismic considerations were addressed. Centuries before modern engineering formalized such concepts. The monument's survival through earthquakes, floods, and environmental stress stands as a testament to its builders' foresight. Perhaps the most remarkable feature of the Taj Mahal is how its complexity disappears into silence. Visitors are rarely aware of the calculations beneath their feet, or the geometry guiding their gaze. This invisibility is intentional. True mastery, Mughal architects believed, should never announce itself. It should simply feel right. In this sense, the Taj Mahal achieves the highest form of architectural success. It teaches without instructing. It overwhelms without excess. It endures without effort. Before the crowds arrive, and before the sun fully claims the sky, the Taj Mahal belongs to silence. At dawn, the Yamuna moves slowly, carrying reflections of the dome in ripples of pale silver. The air is cool. Footsteps echo softly across the marble platform. In these hours, the monument feels closest to its original purpose, a place of rest, prayer, and remembrance. Caretakers begin their routines early. Pathways are swept, fountains checked, and flower beds tended. These acts, repeated daily for generations, form an unbroken chain linking the present to the 17th century. The Taj Mahal does not awaken suddenly. It breathes itself into the day. From its earliest years, the Taj Mahal required constant attention. Marble, though durable, responds to water, air, and touch. During the Mughal era, specialized workers were assigned to clean surfaces, maintain gardens, and regulate water channels. Their work was considered a form of service, not merely labor. Incense and prayer once accompanied these routines. Though the imperial court has vanished, the spirit of care endures. Modern conservationists have inherited this responsibility, blending traditional practices with scientific methods. Clay packs are applied to draw pollutants from marble. Foot traffic is carefully managed. Even silence is regulated in certain spaces, honoring the tomb's solemnity. For centuries, the Taj Mahal has been more than a tourist destination. It has served as a place of quiet pilgrimage. Visitors of many faiths approach it with reverence, sensing its spiritual gravity. Muslims recite prayers near the mosque to the west of the mausoleum. On Fridays, worship continues much as it did in Mughal times. The alignment toward Mecca, the Quranic inscriptions, and the rhythm of arches all reinforce the site's sacred character. For others, pilgrimage takes a different form, standing silently before the cenotaphs, contemplating love, loss, or mortality. The Taj Mahal accepts all forms of reflection without judgment. Flanking the mausoleum are two identical structures built of red sandstone. The mosque on the western side remains active, serving the faithful. On the eastern side stands the Jawab, a mirror structure built to preserve symmetry. Though often overlooked, these buildings are essential to the Taj Mahal's balance. They frame the central tomb and reinforce its spiritual and architectural harmony. Their presence reminds visitors that the Taj is not a solitary object, but a carefully composed ensemble. The Taj Mahal has always been a meeting place of voices. Courtiers once whispered here. Poets recited verses. Travelers gasped in awe. Today, languages from across the world mingle beneath the dome. Guides tell stories, some factual, some embellished. Children stare upward in wonder. Elderly visitors move slowly, leaning on railings, absorbing the monument with patience earned through years. Each voice adds a layer to the Taj's living history. Yet despite the noise of human presence, the monument retains an inner stillness. Sound seems to soften within its walls, as if marble itself absorbs excess emotion. Customs surrounding the Taj Mahal have evolved. Royal processions no longer pass through its gates. Ceremonial guards have been replaced by security personnel. Photography, once impossible, is now ubiquitous. Still, certain behaviors persist instinctively. Visitors lower their voices. Steps slow. Faces turn upward. The Taj Mahal commands respect without demanding it. This response transcends culture and education. It arises from proportion, light, and silence working together. The monument teaches visitors how to behave by how it exists. Among the most anticipated experiences at the Taj Mahal are nights of the full moon. On these occasions, limited visitors are allowed to witness the monument bathed in lunar light. The marble glows softly, seeming almost transparent. These nights revive an older rhythm. In Shah Jahan's time, moonlight viewings were cherished moments of contemplation. The emperor himself is said to have admired the Taj most under the moon, when its whiteness turned ethereal. Modern visitors, standing quietly under the same light, feel a rare continuity with the past. Time seems briefly suspended. The Taj Mahal is often described as something to be seen, but it is also something that sees. It has observed generations arrive and depart, empires rise and fall, and societies transform. It has watched lovers hold hands and mourners wipe tears. It has seen soldiers march past and children run ahead. In its stillness, it absorbs these moments without comment. This silent witnessing is what keeps the Taj Mahal alive. It is not frozen history, but a participant in human life. As evening approaches, the marble cools and shadows lengthen. The crowds thin. The Yamuna darkens. Once again, quiet settles across the complex. The day ends as it began, in calm repetition. The Taj Mahal does not rush. It endures by rhythm, not resistance. In this daily cycle lies one of its deepest truths. Eternity is not a single moment preserved forever. It is continuity, sustained through care, reverence, and presence. In the modern era, the Taj Mahal has become inseparable from India's national identity. Its image appears in textbooks, tourism campaigns, diplomatic gifts, and collective memory. For many Indians, the monument represents not only Mughal heritage, but also the layered history of the subcontinent past shaped by empires, faiths, and cultures interwoven over centuries. Yet this symbolic power has also placed the Taj Mahal at the center of debate. Questions of ownership, representation, and interpretation surround it. Is it a Mughal monument? An Islamic monument? An Indian monument? The answer, inevitably, is all of these at once. As political narratives evolved, so too did discussions about the Taj Mahal's meaning. Some voices attempted to recast it narrowly, emphasizing or minimizing certain aspects of its origin. Others defended its plural identity, arguing that its greatness lies precisely in its synthesis. Historians consistently point to the Taj Mahal as evidence of cultural fusion. Persian design principles, Islamic theology, Indian craftsmanship, and local materials coexist in harmony. To separate these elements is to misunderstand the monument itself. The Taj Mahal thus stands as a quiet rebuttal to division. Its very existence argues for complexity over simplicity, unity over exclusion. Modern tourism has transformed the Taj Mahal's surroundings. Hotels, roads, and services have grown around Agra to accommodate millions of visitors each year. Tourism provides livelihoods for countless families, linking the monument to contemporary economic life. At the same time, mass visitation poses risks. Foot traffic wears down marble floors. Breath and touch alter delicate surfaces. Managing access has become an ethical challenge. How to share a universal treasure without consuming it? Authorities have introduced time limits, ticketing systems, and restricted zones. These measures, though sometimes inconvenient, reflect a growing understanding that preservation must outweigh convenience. One of the gravest threats to the Taj Mahal has been environmental pollution. Industrial emissions, vehicle exhaust, and airborne particles have the potential to discolor marble and weaken stone. In response, protective zones were established around the monument. Factories were relocated or regulated. Vehicular access was limited. Scientific monitoring began to track air quality and material decay. Restoration teams apply clay-based treatments to draw pollutants from marble surfaces, a technique that cleans without abrasion. Conservation has become a continuous process rather than a one-time effort. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Taj Mahal belongs not only to India, but to humanity. This designation brings international attention, expertise, and scrutiny. Global organizations collaborate with Indian authorities, sharing conservation technologies and research. Scholars study the monument's structural health, while archivists preserve historical records. The Taj Mahal has become a case study in how the world cares for its shared heritage. This global responsibility reinforces a central truth. Beauty on this scale cannot be owned by a single generation. It must be protected across time. The digital age has given the Taj Mahal new forms of life. High-resolution photography, virtual tours, and 3D modeling allow people to experience the monument without physical presence. These tools expand access while reducing strain. Students across the world study its geometry. Researchers simulate environmental impacts. Artists reinterpret it through new media. Though nothing replaces standing before the real structure, digital preservation ensures that knowledge of the Taj Mahal will survive even if physical challenges grow. How a society treats its greatest monument reflects its values. The Taj Mahal poses an ethical question to each generation. Will beauty be preserved or exploited? Decisions made today about development, access, and conservation will shape what future generations inherit. The Taj Mahal demands patience, restraint, and humility. It reminds the modern world that progress does not mean replacement. Sometimes, progress means protection. Despite politics, pollution, and pressure, the Taj Mahal continues to stand with quiet dignity. It absorbs modern life without surrendering to it. The monument does not argue. It endures. In this endurance lies its relevance. The Taj Mahal has survived emperors, colonizers, wars, and revolutions. It now faces its greatest challenge, not destruction, but carelessness. Whether it continues to glow for centuries, more depends on choices made far beyond its marble walls. The story of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal is often told as a simple romance, a tale of love so powerful that it reshaped the landscape of history. Yet to understand their relationship fully, one must look beyond idealized imagery and examine it within the realities of 17th century imperial life. Shah Jahan was a ruler formed by power, discipline, and ambition. Mumtaz Mahal was a woman of intelligence, influence, and resilience. Their bond did not exist outside politics and responsibility. It was shaped by them. This complexity does not diminish their love. It deepens it. Unlike many royal marriages of the era, Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal shared a genuine partnership. Court chronicles and foreign observers alike note her presence in matters of governance. She advised the emperor, managed imperial charities, and intervened on behalf of subjects seeking justice. Mumtaz Mahal's influence was not symbolic. She possessed the imperial seal, a rare privilege that allowed her to authorize documents. Shah Jahan trusted her judgment, relying on her discretion in moments of uncertainty. This partnership challenges simplistic portrayals of passive queens and distant emperors. Their relationship was built on mutual reliance as much as affection. The Mughal court was vast, hierarchical, and demanding. Shah Jahan had other wives, as was customary for rulers of his time. Yet historical accounts consistently emphasize Mumtaz Mahal's unique position. She accompanied the emperor on campaigns, endured long journeys, and shared the dangers of war. Her presence beside him in the Deccan, where she died giving birth, speaks to the depth of their connection. Love in this context was not secluded or idealized. It existed within tents, councils, and marshes. It survived exhaustion and responsibility. Mumtaz Mahal's death marked a turning point in Shah Jahan's life. Contemporary sources describe a ruler changed profoundly by loss. His withdrawal from court, the austerity he imposed upon himself, and his lasting refusal to remarry all suggest genuine mourning. The Taj Mahal was not an immediate impulse, but a sustained act of remembrance lasting over 2 decades. Such commitment suggests grief that matured into purpose. Rather than seeking consolation through power or conquest, Shah Jahan turned inward, expressing loss through creation. This response distinguishes him among rulers of his age. The Taj Mahal served as a vessel for memory. In its inscriptions, geometry, and placement, Shah Jahan embedded his grief within an eternal form. Mumtaz Mahal's name, meaning chosen one of the palace, found permanence beyond court politics. Yet the monument also preserved Shah Jahan himself. His later burial beside Mumtaz ensured that their stories would remain entwined. In this way, the Taj Mahal records not only love, but vulnerability. It reveals an emperor willing to admit loss before the world. Modern audiences often project contemporary ideals onto historical figures. The love of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal is sometimes imagined as modern romance. Displaced into the past, history resists such simplicity. Their love was expressed through duty, endurance, and remembrance rather than declarations or personal freedom. It was shaped by hierarchy and faith. Yet within these constraints, their bond achieved something rare: continuity. It survived death, empire, and centuries of reinterpretation. Perhaps the greatest testament to their relationship lies in its endurance. Empires collapse. Political systems fade. Personal affections rarely leave traces beyond memory. The love between Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal left marble, geometry, and silence. It became public, shared, and instructive. In remembering them, the world is reminded that love need not be fleeting or private to be real. It can be disciplined, deliberate, and enduring. Through the lens of love, Shah Jahan emerges not only as a ruler, but as a man shaped by attachment and loss. His grief does not erase the complexities of his reign, but it adds dimension. The Taj Mahal humanizes power. It suggests that even absolute authority cannot shield the heart from sorrow. In acknowledging this, history becomes more than record. It becomes empathy. Every great monument faces the same question. What allows it to outlive the world that created it? The Taj Mahal offers an answer not through size or dominance, but through restraint. It does not impose itself upon the landscape. It listens to it. Built on the banks of a living river, aligned with the sky and open to light, the Taj Mahal was designed to exist within time rather than resist it. Its creators understood that permanence is not rigidity. It is adaptability. Marble absorbs heat and cold, light and shadow. It changes without breaking. In this way, the Taj Mahal ages as living beings do, quietly, visibly, honestly. At first glance, the Taj Mahal appears delicate. Its floral inlays suggest softness. Its curves feel gentle. Yet beneath this grace lies extraordinary strength. The foundation wells respond to shifting groundwater. The minarets lean outward in protective humility. The platform distributes weight with mathematical calm. These choices reflect a philosophy that strength should never be aggressive. This balance between fragility and endurance mirrors human life itself. Perhaps this is why the monument feels familiar, even intimate. Despite its scale, the Taj Mahal endures because it carries memory forward without speaking it aloud. It does not explain Shah Jahan's grief or Mumtaz Mahal's life. It allows visitors to feel them. Inscriptions guide thought, not emotion. Geometry steadies the mind. Silence does the rest. Monuments that instruct too clearly risk becoming dated. The Taj Mahal remains relevant because it invites interpretation rather than conclusion. Few structures have crossed cultural boundaries as effortlessly as the Taj Mahal, built by a Muslim emperor, using Persian design, crafted by Indian hands. Admired by the world, it resists ownership by any single identity. This universality protects it. As cultures shift and borders change, the Taj Mahal remains intelligible. Beauty becomes its common language. In an age often fractured by difference, this quiet inclusiveness feels increasingly rare. No two encounters with the Taj Mahal are the same. A child sees wonder. A historian sees evidence. A mourner sees consolation. A lover sees promise. The monument does not prioritize one response over another. It absorbs them all. This openness ensures renewal. Each generation rediscovers the Taj Mahal through its own means, keeping the monument alive in memory as well as stone. History is relentless. Cities decay. Names vanish. Even empires that once ruled continents dissolve into footnotes. The Taj Mahal stands as a quiet resistance to this erasure, not because it demands remembrance, but because it deserves it. Care, conservation, and scholarship are forms of respect, but they are not enough alone. What truly preserves the Taj Mahal is attention, the willingness to look slowly, to listen quietly, to return again and again. Eternity, as the Taj Mahal teaches, is not endless time. It is continuity of meaning. As long as people feel love, loss, awe, and humility, the Taj Mahal will remain legible. Its message does not depend on language or belief. In this sense, the monument is complete. It requires nothing more than presence. At night, when the crowds are gone and the river darkens, the Taj Mahal reflects the stars. It has done so for centuries, and will continue long after present concerns fade. Shah Jahan's empire is gone. His power dissolved. His grief, however, remains transformed into balance, light, and silence. The Taj Mahal does not promise immortality. It demonstrates it.